Welcome to another episode of Executive Talk. Those that are here live with us in our studio audience and also those that are watching us live. In today's episode, we have a Precious Child, which is a nonprofit organization here located locally in Broomfield, Colorado. The reason why we have a Precious Child on here again is we want to build their story, number one. Number two, we like to see nonprofit organizations that are really helping out the community and actually moving throughout the community, making that impact. And that's the most important value of a nonprofit organization, is the impact that they make. Today's show is the impact of help. This is something that we don't really talk about in society anymore, do we? No. Not at all. You know, the impact of help is so deep, but it gets no recognition at all. And this nonprofit organization is doing a very good job as far as helping and making an impact with that help. And we have the benefit of having one of their people that they help, which is Matthew DeLoa, which is you'll actually hear a story here in the next few minutes as to how his journey here to Colorado and how he's striving here today. So without further ado, please help me in welcoming Matthew DeLoa. How you doing, Matthew?
I'm doing well.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to tell your story. Before we actually get into the story, please just give us a little background on you, because you're age 21 now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Give us a little bit more.
Well, yes, my name is Matthew DeLoa. I'm 21 years old. I have a younger sister, and she's 17 years old. Currently the legal guardian of her, okay. And I'm a full-time student at Flint Range Community College with a major in political science.
Nice. Congratulations.
Good.
That's a big deal. He's going to school and going to college and doing his thing. I like that. So let's go ahead and get into your story and your journey to Colorado, because you haven't lived here your whole time. You started out, I think, in California. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how did that journey to Colorado, why is that such an impactful journey?
It kind of starts from the beginning, like where I was born in California. Because, see, in California, I had kind of a rough childhood. I was not a very happy kid. I was very depressed, and my dad eventually he'd already known, but he noticed this when I was 14, and he told me, "Hey, let's go to Mexico. Let's go." I was born there, and this, in my experience, I was a happy kid. So maybe it'll be the same for you. Like, it'll be better for you. You'll make friends, and I liked the idea so much, and so yes, I said yes. Let's go, and we did. We went to Mexico when I was 14. And it was good. I made like real friends, genuine friends, ones that helped me be better, like myself. I wasn't depressed anymore. Yeah. But about a year later, my parents got divorced, and that was a big blow to our family. Like my then 10-year-old sister, myself, 15 now, 15 then, and. Well, that caused lots of problems. My dad was a single parent, and I saw what he was doing for us. He was doing everything so that he could give us everything that we wanted. And here I was doing nothing. Sure. I wasn't doing anything with my life. I didn't have any responsibilities. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have anyone relying on me. And I saw him just sacrificing all that he had so he could take care of us. And when I was 17, I got frustrated with this. I was frustrated, and I told him, "Hey, I want to go back to the U.S. I want to help you. I want to do something with my life." And he agreed. He said yes. He was very supportive, and he told me that because there's, like, in both areas, the United States and Mexico, there's just better opportunities for someone of my age, especially someone of my age, than 17.
Sure.
And I wanted to do that. So 2 years after that, when I was 19, we finally amassed everything we needed so I could go back to the U.S., and my sister decided to come with me because she had the same ideas. She wanted to do something with her life.
Gotcha.
And that's why, we didn't choose California because it wasn't a choice. I did not want to go back there.
Sure, yeah.
And we had a distant relative in Colorado who we asked, "Hey, can you host us for a few days?" And they said yes.
Nice. So when you came to Colorado, did you have an opportunity, because I know what was important to you is education. What was the first high school that you went to when you got enrolled into when you arrived at Colorado?
It's called Westminster High School.
Okay.
And
people are from Westminster High School.
it's called Westminster High School, and what actually happened was that, sorry,
Oh, you're fine.
In Mexico, I actually dropped out of high school because we were like on the final stages of like me going back to the United States, so that too. But I thought it would be a great idea that I drop out of high school in Mexico because I wanted to finish in the United States. I just felt like it would be more beneficial because I was going to live in the United States, like in my future. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect from it, but I'm happy I did. But yeah, Westminster High School, we went to it so I could enroll my sister.
Yeah.
Not me. The plan was that I would start working like 1 or 2 jobs because I wanted to help sustain us by ourselves. I didn't want to keep asking my dad for money, and for a long time we did. Now it's completely us. Like we're not asking him for anything anymore because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to take more from him if I can't help it, and now I can. But when I was enrolling my sister and we left, I just saw behind me this amazing school. I just had like all these scenarios. I imagined myself being a student there, and I thought, hey, what if I was a student? What if I tried juggling a job and being a student at the same time? I loved the idea, but I was worried because I didn't think I was going to be able to sustain us, my sister and myself. In the end, I decided to take the gamble. I said, yes, let me try it. Let me do it. And so many great things came from that because I met teachers, advisors, counselors, like all these people I consider my genuine friends. I don't know if it was because they saw that I had drive, I was focused, and I wanted to do good. Because before that, I was never a good student. So I was very surprised when I actually started applying myself. I had different goals. Instead of just playing video games all day, I was a good student. And because of this, one of my teachers, she read one of my essays. It was about my life. And she said, hey, can I submit this to a committee? And I said, yes, please do. And what came from that was that I won an award. And then after that, I won another award. And after that, and so on. And this is where one of my advisors, she told me about this scholarship. This $20,000 scholarship. Only 5 people would get it. And she told me, hey, this might be right up your alley. Like, you should try getting it. And I said, yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it. I want to. And this was when I wasn't even considering college. I didn't know I was going to pay for it. And I applied for it. I wrote the essay. I was called up for an interview. And there was this man, Raymond Gonzalez. He heard my story about why I should be the one to get a scholarship, about how it's not only about me. Like, I have so many different things that I want to do now. Like, my dad wants me to do them. My sister relies on me. I want to give. I want to inspire people, and all these things. So, while I was saying my speech, he seemed to relate, and he was crying. So not only did he hand me the scholarship, but he also referred me to a precious child where his wife was a volunteer.
Gotcha. So then that meeting took place with the precious child, which if you're 19 years old, you have your sister, you have this huge responsibility, and your dad is over here depending on you to take care of business over here. How does that meeting take place? How does everything start to change for you during that meeting? I think you're trying to get settled and trying to find a spot for you and your sister. And
yes. Well, the plan in all of that was for me to come over here and get a job, like go to school if I could.
Yeah.
But I feel that one thing that happened a lot, like especially after meeting a precious child, like it like gave us a sense of belonging, like as in with many families.
Yeah.
I'm sure many families I'm sure feel the same way. We came here from a different country on our own. We didn't know anyone, and sure we made connections, like especially because of school, but because of a Precious Child, we had more people, like these people that we could rely on for anything, like advice, just advice, and like if we needed something or we need something to be done that we couldn't exactly like even afford, like laptops, we couldn't afford laptops. Clothes we didn't even consider buying because it's expensive, and we don't have that money to pay for those luxuries. We had to pay for the necessities.
Yeah.
And when the Precious Child finally came along, well, it alleviated so much of the stress of getting all that done, like those extras, and it let us focus on what we had to do ourselves, like school.
Yes.
So constantly it was a huge morale boost, and I'm very grateful.
That's awesome. So I want to hear from a Precious Child real quick to actually hear what the impact was when you guys actually met Matthew and how that helped you guys tailor your program.
Yeah, so we had just started our Core Center program, which was diving in deeper with our families and offering more navigational services. And Matthew and Vanessa were our very first clients that we were able to actually provide these extended services to. And helping them truly helped us form this program and see how we can help others in similar situations, and just how to navigate all those, barriers that pop up when they're just trying to go to school and get an education, how we can help break down some of those barriers.
Sure. So has it been inspiring to you guys meeting Matthew and his sister?
Oh my God, you've met him, he's amazing. So, I need to step up my game. But they've been amazing because they have had so many hurdles to jump over, and they don't take it lying down. They keep going, and they're truly both very motivated. And so we're so excited to help them and kind of see what's going to happen in the future.
Gotcha. So what are some of the most important characteristics that you learn? So you're receiving help. You're out here on your own. What characteristics did you have to learn in order to make it through? Because like Courtney was saying, you're amazing, but then you had to keep on pushing through all these hurdles. So with those hurdles, what characteristics did you develop?
There's a few. First off, I would like to say there's some things that I started like a saying I started believing greatly. It's just that hardship shapes change, as in now I take that as one of how I should be living. But it's basically about everything that we've dealt with right now, everything that we've dealt with in our journey here, and living here. It's like it feeds into what we want to do in our lives. Because if something hard comes by, we know how to deal with it now because we've constantly dealt with it. There were many times when we were almost homeless, and I had to find a place to live, and we were living in garages, just living room, floor, and et cetera, basement. But throughout all of that, I had to learn how to be social, as funny as that might sound, because I was always a very antisocial kid, my whole life. I stayed shut in my room, playing video games and reading books. That was it. I never had anyone relying on me. So I feel like that's why I changed so much in these things. That here in Colorado, now I had people relying on me, or at least I felt like I had, and people that believed in me, people that were pushing me on. Okay, go, you can do it. And even I pushed myself way too much because I wanted to do the same things. And I learned how to break out of my shell. I had to learn that because, if I was ashamed of saying my story, because we were homeless, I know lots of people would be ashamed of saying that. They wouldn't go asking for help. If I was ashamed of doing that, then I probably wouldn't have made the same connections or had the same opportunities I did. Maybe even the scholarship. And now I'm going to college only because of that. I had to learn a lot. And throughout all of that, I feel like one of the biggest ones is something that I've never had to deal with before: responsibility.
That's huge. It's amazing. I think this part is even more amazing. You know, when you talk about what drives you, you know, one thing that's constant in this conversation is your dad and your sister and you. Tell me how those things have shaped you, and tell me how each one of those people that I listed are a driving force for you. The man's thirsty when he motivates people. That's how that works.
No, it's just like a.
No, you're good.
It's a very important topic, yeah.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I feel that it should be obvious, but my dad is most likely my biggest motivator. Not only has he been the only one that has, throughout my life, been there for me. I mean, sure, he's my dad. Like, you can say that argument, but he's been the whole time. Like, he moved to Mexico because he saw that I was depressed, and a year later they got divorced because of it. My mom didn't want to exactly. Yeah, but what happened is that, like, because of my dad, I see, because of that, I saw my dad's example. I saw the sacrifices that he had to make, both physical and emotional. All these things that I never had to deal with before. Again, I was always shut in, and I saw his example, and I just thought, how can I be doing nothing now? I'm watching him. That's it. I'm not trying to help him. I couldn't. Either I couldn't or I didn't. It was mostly that I didn't. But now I'm living here in Colorado, I can, and I'm chasing after my dreams. I can imagine him telling me, "Hey, I'll be proud of like anything that you do, like anything you do. I'll be proud." I can imagine him saying that. But you know what? No, I'm going to give him, like, if he looks back at all the sacrifices and things that he's had to give up so that he could take care of us. If he's going to do that, I am not going to add failure to that pile. If I'm going to be adding anything, it's going to be my success. And the way he'll see it is my successes bought through his sacrifices. And that's his dream. He wants us to succeed and get our dreams. Yeah. Next would, my sister.
Yeah, your sister.
Like, I love her, and she's, from the very beginning, here in my adventure in Colorado, our adventure in Colorado, like, I probably wouldn't even be here right now if it weren't for her. We always had each other's back from the very beginning. Like, we almost broke down the first day we got here. Yeah. But because we were a team, like, all three of us, we got through. We dealt with it. And yeah, she's my sister. I have custody over her. But not only that, my dad gave me legal guardianship of my sister. Yeah. A father gave me his daughter. And he's always done everything he could do so he could give everything to her. Now that I'm in that position, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to ensure it. And the last one, it's actually pretty simple. It's me. As I've said countless times now, I have always been antisocial, and I always had these issues as a kid in Colorado, and in California, and in Mexico, part of it. But living here in Colorado, now that I'm transitioning into a man, you could call me a young man, like a teenager.
No, call you a man.
You call me any of that. Like, now that I am one, that young boy is still there. That boy with issues. Like, I still have various issues, but I've dealt with lots of the ones I had before. And that young boy is still there. And I want to push that young boy forward so that he can also be a man. those are, I would say, my 3 main drives, my 3 biggest drives.
That's huge. That's huge. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So obviously, with this question, what do you want to achieve in your adult years? I'm going to go ahead and say motivational speaker. Would you guys agree?
So much of a motivational speaker. I am crying over here.
Hey, you got everybody all choked up over here.
Way to put the room down, Matt. No. Yeah. There's 3 things that I want to be in my life, and I've already set like exactly what I want to be. I don't know how I'm going to get there currently, but I'm working on it. It's, yeah. I want to be a lawyer, a politician, and a motivational speaker.
Why those 3 things?
Lawyer, because I want to learn about law. Like, there's a reason for it. But
Yeah.
I want to learn about law, and I want to know more about the system just the system. I want to know more about laws, how they work, what they, these things. Because what I want to do is I actually want to make change. I want to make an impact, but change as in the form, like good change. I know it can't always be good, but that's what I'm aiming for. Like, there's some things in the educational system right now, and I've lived through it like very recently. I know exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't know if I'm right. But yes, like I believe there should be some things that could be added into that. Like, it could some practical life skills, like learning how to speak, for example, just to people, just to people. There's nothing like that in a child's education, not typically anyway. Like, I would like to add something like that, but to do these things, like, I would. Well, that's what I go into. Like, I want to be a politician because, as I said, I want to cause the form, good things, good changes, and I want to know the law, so I actually know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it and be saying that I'll do this or do that, but not know if it can be done. Like, I need to know the law.
Right. That makes sense. I'm not
I need to
laughing
know
at
the
you.
law. No, yeah.
Everything else.
I need to know the law to do any of that, and I feel like as a politician, I would be able to cause the. I feel like it would be one of the things that I can cause a great amount of like positive impact. And the last one is motivational speaker. This was actually only very recently that I thought of this when I gave a speech for Precious Child to 800 people when I was still very anxious about these things.
Yeah.
That only happened because I wanted to get better at speaking, and I was given the opportunity. So I want to inspire people. I want to inspire people to do, like, to act. And I've seen it constantly where in my school, so say for the scholarship that I got, the $20,000 scholarship, only 5 people would get it, and I heard constantly students saying, oh, I'm not going to apply for it. Only 5 people can get it, so I'm not even going to try. I'm not going to get it. Why should I?
Yeah.
I've seen that constantly, and I get bothered by it. I want people. I'm not special. So I want people to do that kind of thing. Like, I moved from a different country because I wanted to follow my success. And I know that's not the answer to everyone, but in some of the cases, like, there's things that you can do that you're scared of or intimidated that you probably wouldn't think of doing or would avoid doing.
Yeah.
And I want to inspire people to take those chances, those keys to a success.
If you had one thank you to give to a precious child today, what would that be?
Well, one thank you. I would have to say that thank you very much for the constant support to our family and for dealing with me for this long. Like, the only reason I'm like this far in, like even in college or even here, is because of a precious child. Like, all these opportunities are opening up for us because of you. And like, well, yeah, thank you for putting that little kid up in an audience of 800 people as well. Thanks for that. Like, he appreciates it. But yeah, no, like, thank you for giving me all the amazing opportunities you have thus far, and I hope to have more ways to thank you for it.
And what about a precious child? Is there anything that you guys want to give to Matthew as far as I don't know, a thank you or whatever that means to you guys.
I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. You're on such an amazing path right now, and you're being such an amazing example to your sister. And she's going to be applying for college soon. And I mean, you're setting such a great example for her. So just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to, I can't wait to see what the future holds for you, because it's going to be pretty amazing.
Thank you.
You know, I want to give you guys some final thoughts based on what you guys heard today. There's a lot of messages, a lot of undertones within Matthew's presentation. First and foremost, thank you so much, Matthew, for allowing Executive Talk to have you on here.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you, and appreciate everything you're doing for your sister. That's a huge deal. You know, this is her example as to what manhood looks like. Whether she understands that or not, and whether you understand that or not, you're actually giving her that first example. So you're making a huge impact on your sister. So, I mean, you're doing a whole heck of a lot. Things could have went a whole lot of different directions with him coming as a 19-year-old, you know, with him and his sister. Things could have went really in a bad direction, but, you know, that's blessing. That's what help does for people. And again, in society, we don't talk about help. Help is actually a currency, because you think about it biblically, that's where blessings flow. This is blessings flowing, okay, that no matter what, he was still able to keep everything going and keep everything flowing to where he's able to go to college and talk intelligently up here and keep moving through and inspired to be a motivational speaker. That's a huge deal. So a few things we have to do for these two is his sister wants to be an artist. She's an amazing artist. Matthew, he wants to be a motivational speaker. He wants to be mentored by a lawyer. He wants to be mentored by a politician. We'll work on that one. But we're going to start with the motivational speaker. So if there's anybody out there who has any contacts in those areas, let's help Matt out so he can keep on moving through and keep on progressing. And one major word that he said today was the word sacrifice. His father's sacrifice is humongous. And that sacrifice is carrying over to him and is carrying over to his sister. You see how that example is keep on flowing through? I want you guys to think of that impact of the sacrifice. So, Mr. DeLoa, I know you'll watch this show, maybe not right now, but you'll watch it later on. I want to thank you for your sacrifice for Matthew. And I know Father's Day was last week, but happy Father's Day to you. And thank you for being an amazing dad. I'm getting all choked up now. So thank you so much for being an amazing dad and giving that example of sacrifice, because it's definitely showing up in that. But for everybody here in the studio audience, I would like for you guys to continue watching this program. For those at home, please watch on Facebook, LinkedIn. But Matt has to get to work. I have to get to work also. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.